Hey folks, welcome to this week's edition of Wild Kentuckiana Live. I'm your host, Tom Chamberlain. And before we get to our guests, we're going to talk about our wonderful sponsor we have in Knob Creek Gun Range. Guys, if you need anything weapon-related, ammo, shotguns, muzzle loaders, hunting rifles, pistols, anything you could actually ever need for any type of outdoor use or pleasure, Knob Creek has it. Kenny Sumner's the gang over there. They're really knowledgeable. He's got a great staff. They can help you out with whatever you need. If they don't have it, you really don't need it. And they have everything from ammo to hunting accessories, scopes. They have 2 machine gun shoots a year. You can also enlist them to sight your gun in for you if you don't have time to do it. They have a wonderful range, so make sure you go check out a great sponsor at Knob Creek Gun Range and tell them Tom with Wild Kentuckiana Live sent you. One more thing I want to bring up before we get to our guest too is the One Wish Foundation. Y'all heard me speak last week about the One Wish Foundation, and we're really getting great traction here in Kentucky on this. For the folks who didn't see last week's episode, One Wish is a nonprofit organization, 100% nonprofit, nobody on the payroll, which to me is very important. And these guys take out kids and veterans that have life-altering illnesses. Doesn't have to be life-threatening. It could be anything from autism, severe ADHD, cerebral palsy. So if you know a child that may be interested in this program, it's 100% free. Go fill the application out. We're trying to get 2 or 3 for turkey season here in Kentucky, and you'll be hunting with me on my private land, and we're going to film it. We're going to put it on the Pursuit channel. So make sure you go visit the One Wish Foundation. This is something I feel really, really strong about, and they're wonderful people up there in Pennsylvania, and they're doing a great thing. So with all that being done, we have a really, really special guest tonight. We have Sherry Maddox. Hi, Sherry.
Tom, it's nice to be here.
She is the Vice President of Safari Club International, and you're also the Treasurer of the local chapter.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people out there, when they think of Safari Club International, the first thing that pops in their mind is the Dallas Safari Club International. It's probably the most popular one that you hear about. Would you agree with that?
Dallas Safari Club may be in some parts of the country, more people may be familiar with it. Mm-hmm. Safari Club International, sometimes I say, may still be the best kept secret in the world of hunting and outdoors and advocacy, but certainly, hopefully by the time we get through talking here today, you'll know a little bit more about Safari Club. More importantly, a little bit more about what goes on with the Kentuckiana chapter.
You know, and when we met, I met you through Ivan with Hunters for the Hungry.
Right.
You're very involved with them. You and your husband are.
Yes, we are.
And I really didn't have a whole lot of background in Safari Club. After meeting with you and your husband, I said, I'm going to look this place up and see what they're all about, because I just always assumed it was just African hunts. That's what everybody seems to think. It's just all about African hunts. But y'all do so much right here in our own community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think because of the term Safari Club International, Tom, people instantly do think of Africa. And it's not. A safari to me is going from one state to another and turkey hunting, or when I go out west and hunt mule deer, whatever the case may be. But again, people say when you think Safari Club, you think safari, it's just people with a lot of money that go to Africa, and that's not the case.
Hey, every time I go to my deer stand, I feel like I'm in a safari.
Exactly. Now, I'm not going to say, I've been able to hunt internationally, but it's only because of my involvement with Safari Club and the local chapter. This poor little hard-working nurse from Kentucky never thought she'd be anywhere outside the state, much less hunting some of the other wonderful states here in the U.S. and in Africa. You
know, I have a really good friend of mine that does a lot of hunts in Mexico and places like that, mule deer hunts, that type of thing. And I was talking to him about Safari Club. He said, they're my go-to people. When I'm going to find an outfitter out of the United States, I contact Safari Club, because if they're recommending them, they're going to be top-notch, and they're going to take care of me, and they're going to do things the right way. So I didn't really realize it's also an option if you're going to hunt out. Contact Safari Club. They can give you recommendations on different guides.
Well, and the rest of the beauty of that is a lot of people will provide hunt reports. Mm-hmm. But then also, Safari Club International has the largest hunters convention in the world. We just came off of our convention in Las Vegas, Nevada, and exhibitors and outfitters from around the world come to one location. That's one of the benefits of being a member of Safari Club International, is that you have the opportunity to attend convention, You can talk with a hunter, an outfitter, or an
Outfitters
organization.
in the U.S. and out of the U.S.?
Everywhere.
Awesome.
All over the world.
Now, when the Safari Club not necessarily endorses an outfitter, but they're a member of the Safari Club, are they thoroughly checked out to make sure they're a reputable company or a reputable guide service?
Well, it's not so much a screening process, Tom, but certainly if we have issues that are brought to our attention with regards to any of our outfitters, as with, I think, any organization, we have a standard ethics process that we would follow to ascertain and determine if any complaints against any of the outfitters were valid.
Right.
We do have a code of ethics that we would expect any of our members as well as our outfitters to follow. So should there be a problem, it's not necessarily an issue, well, I went on that hunt and they promised me 190, 200 class deer and didn't get it.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about. You know, we're talking about we could have violations of the law.
Sure.
We could have unlawful taking of game on property that they did not have permits to hunt on.
Right.
And you know as well as I do, when you're hunting, you depend on your guide or your outfitter.
Oh, because I'm not familiar with it, so it's his job to make sure I'm doing everything right and I'm in the right places at the right time.
Right. So it's not so much endorsing, but it's giving all of our outfitters an opportunity to meet with our members so that they can book those trips, whether it be from one state to another or whether it be to another country.
That's amazing. Now, the Safari Club International is a 100% nonprofit.
Correct.
And y'all have different programs in the national level. And we're going to talk a lot about the local chapter, and we're really going to talk a lot with these young kids right here, folks, because these are our future hunters. These are our future leaders. So we're going to get to these young guys here in a minute because they're going to be movie stars by the time they leave here. So tell us a little bit about some of the programs on the national level that y'all really endorse and y'all really feel strongly about.
Well, there are two components. We have Safari Club International, and then we have the Safari Club International Foundation. And on the foundation side, that's where I pretty much started and built my love of Safari Club was on the foundation side. There's kind of, I guess you call 3 buckets. There's education, conservation, and humanitarian services.
Okay, once we come back, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back for the commercial break, we're going to dig in deep all 3 of those, and we're going to explain exactly what they do because I really want to get the word out about what Safari Club's about and help promote the Safari Club because they're doing a wonderful job, not in our own state, but nationwide and worldwide. So, folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back to Wild Kentuckiana Live. I'm your host, Tom Chamberlain. I have with me Sherry Maddox from Safari Club. Before we went to break, you were going to tell us about 3 different components that you'll have.
Yes, on the foundation side, Tom, we have education. And one of our biggest education programs at the national level with the foundation is the American Wilderness Leadership School out in Jackson, Wyoming. And it's a school, it's a program where we send educators, most of them are middle school and high school teachers. They may be biology teachers, science teachers, PE teachers that may be involved in after-school National Archery in the School programs. They go out there for a really intensive 7-day program. And it's not teaching you to hunt, but it's teaching you the importance of how hunters contribute to conservation. The basis of the program is on the North American model of wildlife conservation. They do some rifle shooting. Actually, and some of these teachers have never shot a firearm before. So they get their level 1 NRA certification. They get their National Archery in the School certification. So they could actually leave this school, go back, and start a National Archery in the School program, which is huge since it started right here in Kentucky.
It did start right here in Kentucky, and it's taken off worldwide. I mean, if you attend some of the world events they have all, at the end of the year, every country you can imagine is there.
It is amazing.
And Kentucky seems to be dominant, no matter if it's on the state level, the national level, or the world level.
Right, and that was Roy Grimes' baby. And
yes, it was.
Roy was at our fundraiser last night, and we'll talk a little bit more about how the Kentuckiana chapter has supported NASP. But we have some other programs with education. Humanitarian services is a big component.
And I'm really interested about this because people think you go over and you're going to go hunt, but you're actually giving back while you're there.
Oh, you're giving back. It's so many countries, regardless of where you hunt, I think if people did studies and realized the amount of money that hunters and fishermen contribute wherever they are in their license fees,
Oh, sure.
in the different states,
The guide fees.
the guide fees, the outfitter fees, and I will tell you, the humanitarian services component of how many hungry people are fed by hunters. There's people don't want to hear that,
You're
but
right.
it's the reality. There's a lot of hungry people that are fed every day thanks to hunters. And I feed myself, I fill up my freezer.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
we have we have
Tell
a
me
blue
about
bag program.
the blue bag. That's what I want to know about.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. The Blue Bag program is one that we encourage hunters, whether they're going to any country, and the country that's been most frequently utilized this program has been Africa, but we've done a lot in various countries. We're pretty lucky here in the U.S., surprisingly enough. People may not think so, but the Blue Bag program, people can take supplies, things as simple as toothbrushes. These kids don't have toothbrushes.
Right.
They don't go to bed every night and have a toothbrush. So they pack supplies and they take them to orphanages, some of these camps, schools. I took a blue bag to a school and literally it broke my heart, Tom. There were kids that had no shoes.
Yeah.
You take shoes, socks, soccer balls.
Yeah.
Something as simple as a soccer ball. We go to, you know, wherever, Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy and buy a soccer ball and we don't think anything about it.
Sure.
These kids love it. So the Blue Bag programs are just huge. It's a huge humanitarian services. And then our conservation is phenomenal. You know, I think we have a world-class representation with all of our conservation programs all across the world. Everything from reintroduction of native species in states here in Kentucky to the lion in Africa, which is something that's been significantly controversial in some realms, but we have spent millions of dollars and raised millions of dollars and turned around and put them back into conservation programs.
That's wonderful. And, you know, folks, for you all know that watch our show on a regular basis, I never steer clear of controversy. I kind of head right into the storm. I enjoy it because, you know, you also have a very political ambition at the national level.
We do.
And we've been on a kick here lately on Wild Kentuckiana Live, and it really bugs me as some of these organizations like PETA and HSUS and the other ones that I've been battling, along with all of the other people with the Senators in Kentucky. Jim Strader's on board with that. Ed Morse, President of the League of Kentucky Sportsmen. They're trying to shut down our hunters' rights, but y'all have a national voice in Washington, D.C.
Yes, we do. I'm really proud of the fact SCI has a full-time presence in Washington, D.C. We have an office in D.C. We have lobbyists on the Hill every day. We have a full-time legal staff, and they are 100% at watching out and serving as part of the advocacy arm for Safari Club International and for every hunter. Our mission and our motto is to be first for hunters.
That's right.
And our advocacy is huge in that realm.
And it seems like we're getting a lot of people that aren't doing that or trying to shut the hunters down. And
It's a battle that we're going to have every day.
Yep.
You know, and so it's just like the NRA with the Second Amendment.
Right.
SCI is all about the advocacy and protecting our right to hunt.
Now we're going to get a little bit into start talking about the local chapter here, folks. For y'all don't know, and I had no idea that we had a local, you know, Safari Club International chapter here in Louisville, in Kentucky.
We sure do.
Tell me a little bit about this chapter.
This chapter has been around about 20 years.
My goodness.
We're small but mighty. Let me tell you, we're small but mighty. I have served on the board in some capacity since 1998,
Okay.
when I first got involved. From the chapter that led me to the national spot that I'm in now. But the local chapter has a huge focus on projects and programs in Louisville, about 13 surrounding counties in Kentucky, and about 8 counties in southern Indiana.
Now, before we get deep into the local chapter, you're like every other chapter, whether it be QDMA or Ducks Unlimited, Quail Unlimited, NWTF. You're always looking for members.
Always looking for members. You know, the only difference that between us and any of the other like-minded organizations, we're just not species specific.
Right.
We're out there for all hunters and all species. You know,
so it doesn't
our
matter if it's
conservation
turkey
program doesn't
or
matter.
waterfowl. Your husband's a big waterfowl hunter.
Big waterfowl hunter. I'm pretty much the one that's turned into the big game hunter. He's pretty much focused on the waterfowl, but he's the reason why I hunt. I didn't grow up hunting.
That's amazing. And we're going to take a commercial break here in just a second, and we're going to get back into it. and we're going to talk with Charlie and Kris here. These guys have been sitting here very patiently, and they're part of a mentor program that Sherry here is going to explain to us. And you guys are really doing good things, so I can't wait to get involved with you all and you can tell everybody out there what you're doing and why you're doing it. So, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Wild Kentuckiana Live. Hey folks, welcome back to Wild Kentuckiana Live. I'm your host, Tom Chamberlain, and I have three special guests with me. I have Sherry Maddox with the Safari Club International, and then we have Charlie and Kris with us here too. And we're going to get to you guys in 1 second, I promise. But first of all, I want Sherry to tell us a little bit more about the local chapter.
The local chapter of Safari Club International, we're one of approximately 180 chapters worldwide affiliated with the national office with Safari Club International. Again, as with national, our focus is, of course, protecting our right to hunt.
Right.
But our big focus in recent times, Tom, has been around education, and particularly around youth education. These guys are our next generation. Mm-hmm. You know, these young men and women are our next generation. We have a lot of education programs that we're supporting right now. We have some conservation programs. You know, we were huge when we started reintroducing elk into Kentucky.
Okay.
There's a full mount elk in the Salado Wildlife Center that our chapter donated a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
So that was a pretty cool program. We've worked with groups over in Indiana with reintroduction of quail. Mm-hmm. So we've done several conservation and habitat restoration programs. And we do a lot of humanitarian services. One of the things that my husband Mike is real involved in is our military hunts for our military. Some of our military, we get them together every year and we take them on a pheasant hunt down at Clover Creek.
Okay.
So we do a lot of programs.
Now, you all typically don't meet like NWTF meetings do, where they have a meeting once a month. Y'all do events throughout the year for your members.
Right, we do. Anything from a summer picnic to we might have a dove shoot, mm-hmm. we might have a spring warm-up, Top Gun shoot. Mm-hmm. Of course, we have our fundraiser that really involves everybody. So instead of having like meetings that everybody thinks they have to drag themselves to once a month, the board meets on a regular basis, mm-hmm. monthly or bi-monthly, obviously to provide governance. But sure. When we have events for our members, it's usually, you know, a hunting event or something to get together for camaraderie with our annual summer picnic. And then so much of our time, and everybody on the board, everybody that works in any of our parts, 100% volunteer. Nobody gets paid. And
that's what's great. And to me, that's what makes a strong nonprofit agency. Mm-hmm. You see these so-called nonprofits, HSUS, and by the way, I still hate you guys, are getting paid. They have 10 people on payroll that make over $200,000 a year. It's not a nonprofit. It's a for-profit.
Well, I'd go say I could take that salary, but I certainly don't want to work for them.
Exactly. You know, so, you know, the nonprofits that actually have nobody on payroll, to me, is a nonprofit I want to support.
Yeah, we do have some paid staff at the SCI level.
Right, because you got to have a political, you got to have somebody on Capitol Hill.
Absolutely. But, you know, locally we're all, and it's amazing, the volunteers, you know. These two guys, their parents are volunteers. And I have to say, if it wasn't for the parents of all these kids that we're bringing up through here, we wouldn't have the success that we have. Right. So kudos to all those parents and grandparents out there that support kids like this, bring them to our events, bring them to the fundraisers, do the things we do. And Tom, before we get into these, the one thing that's always surprises people, but I'm so proud of, 70% of the money that we raise at our fundraisers and our events through the year, and we just have one primary fundraiser, 70% of that money never leaves our control. We retain 70% of the money.
And that's so unusual because, you know, all these Quails Unlimited, Ducks Unlimited, NWTF, they have a national organization like you all do. But if there's a local chapter, like I know for a fact the NWTF is, your local chapter keeps 2%. Mm-hmm. 2%. The other 98 goes to the national. You all are keeping 70%, giving 30 to the national. which enables you to do so much more in the community with the money you have.
Well, and I think it's reassuring for like members as well as non-members that come and support us at our fundraisers. Don't get me wrong, regardless of the organization, they're doing great things.
Absolutely, we got to have them all.
I think we can be a lot more effective, and even with that 70%, we even get additional grants and funds back from SCI being an affiliated chapter.
And y'all just had a great big fundraiser last night.
Yes, we did. The biggest fundraiser that I think that I can remember having in the history of time. That we had almost 200 people there.
Okay.
We raised twice the amount of money that we've raised. We doubled our profits from the year before.
Wow.
It was really exciting. So we've got double the amount of money this year to support our projects and programs, and hopefully we won't have to say no to anybody.
And you told me before we went on air, these two young men right here were a very valuable key
They
to
were huge
your nonprofit.
They were huge last night. They helped us with the fundraiser, and I'm going to tell you, I think these two guys were critical in helping us raise about $2,500 in one of our programs and one of our initiatives, raffles that we were doing last night.
Really?
They were helping us. They've come for, my goodness, 4 or 5 years now, 6 years that they've been involved. They helped us with the auction.
Let's talk about the program now these kids are involved with, because they've done really well. I think they're a little nervous. So let's, are you nervous yet? No? We're good then. So let's talk about what these young men here do, and there's a lot more young men and women like them out there that are doing the same thing. So what kind of program are they in here?
We established, and this will be the 13th year now, at a program called Youth and Apprentice Hunter Safety Program. We bring about an average of 60 to 70 kids in. Because of the money we can keep here, we've never had to charge a registration fee.
That's amazing.
We have a lot of volunteers. We bring them in, we put them through hunter safety. This was a group of our apprentice hunters that you see on the screen. We put them through the program. If they don't have yet their hunter safety orange card, we get their hunter orange card.
Okay.
And then they go out and they visit the different disciplines, you know, and we're going to let these two, I'm going to let these two boys talk a little more about it. They started off as apprentice, and now they are both mentors and help teach some of the younger kids that are coming through the program and work and support them.
Now, Charlie, how old are you?
13.
And Kris?
15.
You're 15. When you all went through this apprentice program, what did you all do in this program?
Well, first of all, you have to go through the class to get your hunter orange card. You have to listen to our instructor, Jim Warren. He's a great instructor, teaches you everything you need to know for the test. And you take the test, and you can obtain your hunter orange card.
Did you pass your test on the first time?
Yes, sir.
Good job. You remember your scores?
I got like a 96 out of 100.
That's amazing.
94.
94? That's awesome. So, okay, so you obtained your hunter safety card, which is very important. After that, what other programs did you do in this apprentice program?
Well, afterwards we went and shot a muzzleloader, shotgun, archery, and 22 and 243.
Now, the archery, did you shoot the NAS bows or did you shoot the compound bows? The NAS bows?
Yeah. And then
Okay.
crossbow.
And the crossbow. Then you shot a 243 or 22, and I'm assuming a 50 cal muzzleloader? Probably?
Yes, sir.
What was your favorite?
Probably the archery.
Was it?
Archery.
Now, what schools you all attend, do y'all have the National Archery in the Schools program?
No.
That's a shame. Hopefully your schools will get that because it's huge for the kids. So, okay, you went out and shot all these right here, all these weapons you talked about. And then what?
Well, you get to keep your targets and, like, you know.
As a little memento.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell you what, we're going to take another quick commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk about the mentor, how you're being mentors to these other young people coming in, okay? So folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back to Wild Kentuckiana Live. I'm your host, Tom Chamberlain, and we got Sherry Maddox with Safari Club International, and we got two young men here that are going to be our futures in the hunting industry, in the hunting world, and they're going to pass the legacy on that they've been taught to the younger generation. We've got Charlie and Kris here. Now, y'all went through this program here, this apprentice program. Now, did you learn a lot from the program?
Yeah.
Now, did you meet a lot, how many kids were there? 50 or 60, you said, Sherry, typically?
Typically, there's 50 to 60 kids going through the program. That's about all that we've got the space and the time to do in a 2-day program.
Right. So not only are you going through this program, but you're also meeting a lot of kids in your age group that are like-minded, that want to hunt, that want to get their hunter safety card. So not only are you doing this program here, but you're also building friendships. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you still talk to some of the kids you went to that program with, or do you see them every year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year we like hang out with them, talk to them.
So that's what it's all about, because now you've built a relationship with other kids that have the same interests you do, and that's important. Now, now you're mentors. Y'all stepped the level up. Y'all went beyond the apprentice program, and now you're mentors. What does a mentor mean to you there?
I mean, it means like it's just so great to know that there's other people out there that want to hunt too, and to be able to like help them learn and be able to like I don't like
Just show them
yeah,
the ways.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's that mean to you?
Well, it's just that basically what he said, that other kids want to hunt,
Mhm.
and that you can be part of their learning,
Right.
and helping them get through and become a mentor to help the next generation.
Now, when these kids come to you all, and they're probably really nervous,
Yeah.
and because they're going through, they're probably worried about maybe not doing so well on their test, and maybe not getting their orange card, or maybe even thinking ahead to like, man, I got to shoot a 243. They've maybe never shot a weapon before. What do you all do to try to comfort these younger kids when they come in?
Just tell them that like with the guns, like 243, it's just a noise. Like it doesn't hurt, and it ain't gonna hurt. Not worry about it, and just get up there and try.
Right, because once they try it the first time, they're going to like it.
Yeah.
And the 50 caliber muzzleloader may be the more intimidating one because of the smoke that comes
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's really fun. It's Daniel Boone days. So. Well, you said 243, or the archery was your favorite.
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
The archery
technique?
was definitely my favorite too.
Now, do you kids hunt?
Yes.
Yeah, we hunt.
Okay, what's your favorite?
Well, we deer hunt a lot, and we've also been to Africa hunting.
Wait a minute now. You're a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
You're in the 8th grade. You been to Africa too?
Yep.
When did y'all go to Africa?
Well, I was in 4th or 5th grade, I think.
Fifth, I was in 4th.
Wow. Now, was you over there just to watch, or did you actually go to hunt?
We went to hunt.
We both got warthogs.
You both got warthogs.
Yeah.
Now, what did you kill the warthog with?
I shot mine with a 30-06.
Okay,
And 22 mag.
22 mag. Was that tell me about that hunt. Not many kids your age get to go to Africa.
I mean, it's really exciting because you get to see all the different scenery. It's not like deer hunting in Indiana or Kentucky where you got all those trees and stuff. You got bushes and like short trees where it's harder to see stuff.
Just really brushed in. They all blend well into them, into their habitat. What kind of cool animals did y'all see over there?
We saw gimsbuck, kudu, wildebeest, crocodile, just about everything.
Sables, white rhinos.
You're kidding me.
Cape buffalo.
I'm really jealous of you kids right now.
Well, that was because of the local chapter.
Yeah.
The local chapter.
That's why it's important to get involved with Safari Club. If you have ever any ambitions, if you want to go out of the country to hunt, definitely hook up with Safari Club International. They are the pros on this, and they'll be able to take you in the right direction. And you get to meet kids like this that have already been to Africa. I'm 41 years old. I've never been to Africa. Maybe one day, but they're over there doing things that most people dream about doing. These kids have already done it. So y'all are pretty impressive young men. And do you like being in a mentor program?
Yeah. I like being able to teach kids how to handle the guns and how to be able to proficiently do it for the kids next year.
And you're showing them, and you're giving them comfort, and you're encouraging them to come back next year to be mentors also?
Yes.
Because it's a revolving door, because Sherry, as we know,
It is.
if we don't have these kids learning these techniques and doing this and being mentor to younger kids, we're not going to have hunters.
No, I've told people many times, Tom, if we don't look over our shoulder and we've got our next generation lined up to step into our footprint, our hunting heritage will die.
I know. It just, I don't want this to sound bad, but our society now, we're raising such sissy kids that don't want to do anything.
Well, they want to sit in the house and play with their video games or play on their computer. Let me tell you what, these two guys are going to get to a point with this program. There's the next level above mentor,
Okay.
and those are youth instructors. And these two kids are headed right into that path. We have, 4 of our mentors that have been through now instructors, and we've lost a couple of those instructors because now they're in college.
Right.
But Kris and Charlie are going to be two of our mentors that are just going to segue right into being youth instructors for us.
And the youth instructors are still mentors.
They're still mentors.
Because they're mentoring the younger kids below them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this program just ends up being 3-tier, and I'm so proud of these two guys I can't see straight. They've just really come a long way and are just doing phenomenal with the program.
I'm going to tell you something that I talked to Miss Sherry Maddox here, I guess it was probably 3 or 4 months ago downtown in a meeting, and we were leaving the meeting and we had talked about her coming on the show, and right off the bat, your 2 names come up. Mm-hmm. She thinks the world of you guys, and she really thinks that you guys are something special, and I'm sure she thinks that way about all the kids going through this program. But she really took a liking to you. She said, I got 2 kids I could bring on that would be phenomenal for that show.
Yeah, I sure did.
And so she was already, 4 months ago, she already had it in her head who she was bringing with her. So that speaks a lot about what you kids are doing. And, you got to keep it up and, always be good role models because, there's not, you got a lot of kids looking up to these rap artists and athletes. To me, those are not role models. Role models are kids like you that are growing up hunting that can teach other kids to hunt. To me, that's a role model. My dad's my role model. He taught me how to hunt and fish. And, I love him for that. So he's my role model. And your kid, what you all are doing is something really, really special, helping these other kids out. And you can also encourage them, hey, I went to Africa, you can too. All because of the local chapter, right?
That's right.
The local chapter.
That's right.
We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more of these guys. Stay tuned. Hey folks, welcome back to Wild Kentuckiana Live. I'm your host, Tom Chamberlain, and I'm going to do a little recap. We've talked about Safari Club that's not just about African species. Mm-hmm. It's about anything can be a safari here in the States. I know at your banquet last night, y'all had some in-state raffles y'all did for the Colorado hunt. And
we did. We had a mule deer hunt in Colorado. We had an elk hunt. We had a white-tailed deer hunt up in Ohio. We had a pheasant hunt right here in Kentucky down at Clover Creek. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of in-state, and then I think we hit about every continent. So you have an opportunity to hunt anywhere you want to hunt.
So folks, it's not just about international African hunting. These folks in this nonprofit organization are doing wonderful things for conservation, education, fighting for our rights, which we're really proud of. They do everything on the national level, and then on our local level here, they have a really good organization. They get to keep 70% of their money that goes back in the community for different projects, different, hunting opportunities or whatever y'all decide that the board decides is needed. Mm-hmm. And so you have this mentors program. This, to me, is the best thing that the Safari Club could offer. Do all the chapters have this program?
Not all the chapters have this exact program, but as part of the charter and I guess you could say the direction that the chapters take, they have some types of education programs.
Right.
A lot of programs focused on youth. And I will tell you that a lot of chapters have asked for our curriculum in our program. We've even had some folks from the Southwest Ohio chapter that came down to just observe what we do with our program. And it was kind of like a wow factor for them. But we've built this program over the years. We've been fortunate enough to have some sponsors in the local community that have provided sponsorship, and we have also, over the course of the time, we've received a huge grant from Safari Club to keep this program and sustain. So,
it goes to show you that you put like-minded people together, you can do wonderful things.
Yes, you can.
And that's very important by being with like-minded people. There's no button of heads. You all have a general of interest you want to do.
Yes.
And everybody does their job to push that interest. So that's really impressive that you all have done that. And I'm honestly ashamed to admit that I had no idea we had a Safari Club chapter here in Kentucky.
Well, and part of it too, we've been small in numbers, but we've been pretty mighty in what we're doing. But we've started to try to branch out. You having the opportunity to come on the show today and talk a little bit more and dispel some of the rumors that it's not just a bunch of rich people who want to go to Africa. No, like I said, this hardworking girl from right here in Louisville, Kentucky, that all I ever wanted to do was hunt deer and turkey, but
Right.
I've had some other opportunities, and it's been a lot just because of the local chapter.
And, you know, they're doing great things when they go to out of the country with the Blue Bag project you all have. That means a lot to some of these villages and orphanages and stuff that they're not going to get. That hunters, we are very caring people. And
Absolutely. Some of the
try
most
to take
compassionate people I know.
Absolutely. And we try to take care of everybody we possibly can, whether it be in donations through Hunt for the Hungry, for the food banks, or whether it be the Blue Bag project that you all have, or even bringing our youth up to teach them that they are our future.
They are our future. You know, these two guys right here are our future. I'm going to say too, there's two other young men that I want to have put a shout out to that started off the program, went through the program just like Kris and Charlie are doing now, have volunteered, and they were both recognized as SCI and Cabela's Young Hunters of the Year.
Wow.
In 2013, one of our chapter members, Tom Monarch, received the award, and last year, Clay Monarch, his younger brother, received the award. These two guys are right behind them. You know, these two guys are right behind them. So to know that from our community, we have such a strong youth education program. We have kids like Kris and Charlie that are just, I mean, these two guys work themselves to death. These mentors, they come dragging themselves in and sit down at lunch, and it's just like they're gobbling down lunch. You hear them all laughing and talking, I mean, and then they're back out on the four-wheelers and back out there helping these kids. It's amazing.
Why do you all work so hard? Tell me why y'all do this.
It's just for the other kids that want to learn how to hunt. If there aren't kids like us that want to teach it, then there aren't going to be other kids that want to learn it.
That's impressive, because what you said there was what you would expect an adult to say. And with you being a freshman in high school, it's very impressive. And we applaud you for your thinking and your attitude and wanting to help other kids, because every hunter out there knows the importance to keep our tradition alive is getting our kids involved for everything. And, you know, I'm sure y'all are great ambassadors for the Safari Club when y'all are out at school or with your buddies or anything else, because it's really cool, because when you're at school, how many kids in your school has probably went to Africa? There you go. I mean, so that's really, really cool. You know, my son, I took him bear hunting in Maine. He killed his first bear. Of course, he went straight back to school. Ain't nobody in school ever killed a bear. So, you know, he was making sure he was telling everybody about that. But it is important to get our kids involved. And, you know, it's seeing these young men like this that are doing this is just a tribute to what you all are doing.
Well, and that's why we have spent as a chapter, so much of our focus has been on our youth education, whether it's with our youth program, which is one of our prize programs that we are so fortunate to continue to sustain. As I said, these kids can attend the program at no cost. There's
Right.
no cost, you know. We feed them pretty good too, don't we, guys?
Yeah.
I've grilled a few hundred hamburgers with your mom and dad, that's for sure.
Well, we're definitely
Feeding
going to have a
everybody.
news crew or a TV crew out there when you have your August meeting or your August camp. And I'd like to follow these two guys around for a little while and actually show the people. We can tell these people at home what they're doing, but it speaks volumes when we show them what they're
Oh
doing.
yeah, they need to see it. They need to see these guys in action. It's pretty amazing.
And I
It's
want to see
amazing.
you all in action. You know, I'm pretty impressed with you two kids. And if you're thinking you're gunning for my seat right here, you're not going to have it. Maybe when I'm done, but right now you're not getting it. I'm pretty happy right here in this seat. So we're going to take another little quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk hunting. And I know, Sherry, you're a big hunter.
Yes.
You kids in the commercial breaks, we were talking about hunting. So we're going to talk a little bit about turkey and deer hunting and waterfowl and mule deer hunts. So y'all having fun so far?
Yeah.
It's been a blast, hasn't it? Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back to Wild Kentuckiana Live. I'm your host, Tom Chamberlain. And we got Sherry Maddox and we have Kris and Charlie here, all from the Safari Club International. Now, if you're at home and you're thinking about wanting to get your youth involved in some type of youth event, why not SCI?
Why not?
I mean, they have great youth programs. They can really teach your kids the right way to do things, the proper way. Great instructors from what I hear. Great mentoring programs. So go to their website, become a member, help what you can. They're always looking for volunteers for different events.
Always looking for volunteers.
What does it cost to become a member of SCI?
It costs $65 to become a member of National. We have a special deal going, though. If you're a first-time new member to Safari Club, it's $35.
Wow. Is there a separate for the local chapter?
There's a separate for the local chapter. We charge a $25 dues fee, and
Okay.
that pretty much just covers the cost of mailing your newsletter to you.
Right.
We have a newsletter that we produce 4 times a year, plus you get your national publications, which is your magazine and your newspaper. But for first-year new members, if you've never been a member and you join first year, we'll waive those chapter dues.
That's awesome. Do they have a family membership fee?
No, it's just straight up. You know, we used to have a lot of different members, but we just tried to go with a basic incentive program because it doesn't matter if you're 15 or 50, you're an important member of SCI. You're
Okay.
there for the same reason, so you get the same benefit.
Excellent, folks. So make sure you go to their website, join the local chapter, join the national chapter. I've seen the magazines. They're great reads. They're wonderful reads.
Well, and our chapter magazine, Kentuckiana Hunter, has for several years now received an SCI Publication Award.
That's awesome.
So we've got a great publication. We see a lot of the articles. If you'll go to the website, all of our articles, our newsletters are posted there. You'll see the articles about the youth event, big 2-page spread in the middle of those magazines. So you get an opportunity to read about a lot of the projects and programs and get a little bit of history. So they're all on the website.
Good deal. Make sure you go check it out, folks, if you want to get your youth involved or if you want to get involved yourself. Now, let's talk something important. Hunting.
Let's go hunting.
Let's go kill something.
That's what I say. I need to go kill something.
Now, y'all are experienced deer hunters.
Yes, sir.
Neither one of y'all got a turkey yet.
Nope.
Okay. Tell me about your deer hunts. What's your most memorable deer hunt?
Probably my first deer with my dad. We were sitting in a blind we made on one of his friend's properties. And it was just, we were seeing all kinds of deer, but none of them were getting close. And then this one buck just walked right in front of us. And he was like, hey, get ready. Get your gun up. I think this one's going to be your one. And it was.
How big of a deer was it?
Well, it was just like a 6-point buck, but it's okay for a first buck.
It's okay for any buck.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you can eat that horn,
No.
but that meat's delicious.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable hunt?
Probably my first one with my dad too. It was pouring down rain for the first start of the day. It was miserable, but we stayed out there. And then about halfway through the day, we saw one and I shot it, and we couldn't find any blood. And I was really short at the time, and I saw it underneath like a bush, and I
So
pointed
being
it out.
short really helped
yeah.
out, didn't it?
Yeah, and we saw it and got it.
That's amazing. And you guys are pumped up for turkey season coming around?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do y'all do in the off season? Do you do any shed hunting on some property, or have you ever been shed hunting?
Yeah.
Have you ever found any good sheds?
Yeah.
I tell you what, that kind of gets you through the non-hunting times is going out looking for sheds. It's a great time of year to see a lot of stuff, you know, current trails and rubs and scrapes that may still have been active a few weeks ago. And it's great to find those sheds and know those deer made it through gun season. And now, Sherry, you're a big hunter. We got some pictures here we're going to show of you. You did a youth hunt with a young lady.
We did a youth hunt. The beauty with Kentuckiana Chapter Safari Club is we really work to partner with a lot of our like-minded organizations.
Right.
QDMA, they have their youth hunt every year, first weekend in October. This little girl I hunted with, and she was a doll. Shelby, we sat all day in a blind on Saturday. Weather was pretty decent, but saw a lot of deer, but nothing close. You know, for a little girl, she was 11 years old, had never hunted. She'd gone to the range, sighted in her 223, but deer were just too far off. But she was seeing deer. She was asking questions. She was like a sponge.
Right.
And just as patient. And I said, don't give up. We changed blinds the next morning. We'd been in the blind maybe a couple hours, and I looked up and I said, Shelby, straight ahead. And we had talked through a lot of scenarios about, you know, we may have to change places, how slow you have to be, how quiet you have to be, practicing on the shooting sticks. And she was just a sponge, and I just absolutely loved it. You know, she was just fired up. And I said, if push comes to shove, you know, you may have to end up sitting in my lap, because she was short.
Hey, but we learned it comes in handy.
But we learned it comes in handy. She could not get on this deer from the angle she was. Of course, you would figure she needs to be where I'm sitting.
Right.
So I said, all right. We worked on it, and I said, sit in my lap. She sat in my lap, and she said, I've got it. And I didn't even have to say, she took the safety off, and all I had to say was, boom!
And look at the smile on her face.
Yeah, she was absolutely, that was right after it was taken, and I need to teach a little bit to the photographer that took that picture. They kind of forgot to get the deer in the picture, but
that smile means everything.
That smile was incredible, and she donated that deer to Kentucky Hunters for the Hungry.
That is amazing. Her first deer she donated.
First deer, and she donated, and she was so excited.
She's probably hooked for life now.
I'm not sure. I think I was more excited than she was,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
Now,
it was
you went out
amazing.
west for a little muley hunt.
I went out west for a muley hunt. I've been out there to hunt muleys and pronghorn antelope.
Okay.
This particular muley hunt that I went on, it was Thanksgiving weekend.
Look at that.
Thanksgiving
Hey, look
week.
at that beauty.
And yeah, he was kind of a little too busy chasing a few females and kind of just really didn't.
always gets us in trouble.
Yeah, it got him in trouble because he died happy, but you know.
It don't usually kill
that
us,
was,
but them it does.
You know, fortunately, yeah, I left my family here at home and went hunting over Thanksgiving with a girlfriend of mine from another one of my Sables friends, one of my SCI buddies. We went to Montana. I was hunting with Russ Smith. And
What part of
took that
Montana was
muley.
you in?
We were in, flew into Billings, Colstrip.
Okay.
Hunting in Colstrip.
I'm heading to Billings this year for a mule hunt.
Well, it's beautiful country, beautiful mule deer. Marilyn and I were both successful at getting mule deer on that hunt.
Wow.
Love it.
Now,
Love it.
you're pretty geared up for turkey.
Oh, I'm so ready for turkey. I'm so ready for turkey season. I got a girlfriend coming up. We got a place to hunt. I've been fortunate enough to take 2 turkey, but let me tell you what. I hunted for several years before I got my first turkey. And I mean, but it is, daybreak comes up and it sounds like choir practice.
I know, it's amazing.
It is
And I
so
really want to
cool.
thank you all for coming out tonight. Folks, we'll see you next week. Wild Kentuckiana Live.